Welcome to SaharaTV. We have the founder and chief executive officer, Connected Development Code. Is also an election observer. They're in the situation room at the moment. Hamza, it's a pleasure having you on SaharaTV. Thank you for joining us, please.
Pleasure joining you, and thank you for the great work.
Good. Let me start with asking, can you provide an overview of the election observation process you've undertaken during this off-cycle election process in Nigeria?
Yes, Connected Development through our Userbe platform deployed observers 1 week ago. And for us, we've started pre-election observation, taking real-time situation report and assessing various processes of this election. 72 hours ago, I arrived at the state in Lokoja. I was received by the resident electoral commissioner of INEC. From there, we went to the Central Bank of Nigeria in Lokoja. We inspected the sensitive materials. It was sorted and distributed to the 21 local governments. I then moved to 5 local governments 48 hours ago. And I wanted to be sure that they've moved from Lokoja to all these local government INEC offices. And then yesterday, I went to the local government office to make sure that I also observed that it has been sorted by polling unit and wards, and it's been moved with security personnel to the rack center. So yesterday from 11 p.m. to today, 3 a.m., we went to different rack centers in Kogi State, in Imo State, and in Bayelsa State. I can confirm to you that there were heavy security personnel in these rack centers and INEC ad hoc officials. Today, around 7 a.m., we went to the different polling units. I can confirm to you by at 7:30, ad hoc staff and materials were arriving in most polling units. And by 7:45, they were setting up. And by 8 a.m., I can also confirm to you that voting started. And so they were doing accreditation using Beavers and also voting simultaneously. And I can also confirm to you that they're prioritizing old people, pregnant women, people with disability in the various polling units that we observe.
All right. Let me quickly ask you, as one of the, I feel you've touched it, but just to give viewers a better perspective, what are the key challenges faced by the election observers and how have they been addressed in order to ensure we have an unbiased assessment?
One key challenge for now that we've gotten from the field is voter inducement. So vote buying and vote selling, particularly in Imo State and in Bayelsa. In short, in Bayelsa, they started vote buying with 5,000. It went up to 10,000. It got to 15,000. But as I speak to you now, we got information 30 minutes ago that it's now 30,000 naira. And electorate, we have a video confirmation of them jubilating because of the cost of each vote in various polling units. And we have evidence of agents counting money and handing it over after verification of electorates that vote for their party. We have video, we have pictures.
That's quite in a new regularity. In your observation so far, did you notice any significant improvements or shortcomings in the election process so far?
So I would first start with security. I want to say that the IG of Police and the National Security Advisor put action to their words from the outcome of their meeting with the INEC chairman. There's heavy presence of security, and when I say security, joint security efforts, providing perimeter security in various, on the various communities. Also, I can come personnel, so mostly found to you that Beavers is functional. We have reports of 95% Beavers turnaround time from being functional. Interestingly, I also casted my ballot, and it took me less than 20 seconds for verification, authentication, and also voting. So we have this positive feedback from the response of Beavers and also security.
So apart from the incident you just mentioned earlier on, were there any other specific incidents of irregularities that caught your attention during these elections and that were documented or reported?
We got reports that there were result sheets that had been tampered with earlier this morning, which we escalated to INEC, and INEC have publicly and officially responded that they were going to investigate the matter. I think it's important to know that INEC currently have 8 resident electoral commissioners in various states, and they also have 1 national commissioner. So that's 9 in the state. Also, we also have an incident in Ankara where 2 hours ago, voting materials have not arrived on polling units.
How will you assess the voter turnout and participation in this election, considering the fact that we saw some noticeable trends, patterns in Imo, for example, where we have some local government where there are no reports of elections at all? Let's get your view on this, please.
You know, it's quite early to give a specific data around voter turnout, but when we look at using analysis of pictures and videos of electorate on the queue, in Imo and Bayelsa, it is not encouraging. But in Kogi State, it's quite encouraging because what we can observe is there's a lot of women, young people, and people with disability, queuing up to cast their ballot. So there's heavy turnout or massive. Yep, there's encouraging numbers in terms of turnout in Kogi State, but in Bayelsa and even much more worse in Imo State, it is low, significantly low.
Okay. Were there instances of violence or intimidation reported during this election, and how will this impact the overall credibility of the electoral process?
For intimidation is around voter inducement in Imo State that was reported, and also in Bayelsa State. For Kogi State, we've not gotten any report of vote buying or vote selling, but we also got a report that a voter was snatched a ballot box, and so the report we have is a voter snatched a ballot box, and electorate themselves, citizens, apprehended him, and there was no loss of life. But there's an unconfirmed report of one person losing their life in another polling unit. So we're still waiting to get verification from our fact checkers.
Okay, we'll really be following up on that because we had a report of an alleged ballot box snatcher who was on a mission to disrupt the voting process in Anyigba local government area of Kogi, who was shot dead. And
Anyigba, yes.
And
we also have that same report.
Okay. Do you have particular?
We're trying to verify. Yes.
Okay, because we questions have been raised as to the name and the political party the victim was working for at the time where this report is being filed. Let me also get your perspective on this. In your opinion, what recommendations will you make to improve future off-cycle elections in Nigeria based on your observations so far?
In terms of recommendation, I think that one is early deployment. Yes, we sorted, for instance, 48 hours before the election. Sensitive materials were sorted and deployed. But I also think that INEC needs to also enhance the logistics. Yes, INEC would always say that security must be guaranteed. There's a protection of life and property before they deploy, because that's also a critical element of election management. But I also think that moving forward, I think pre-election, which is most of the campaign, we need to have a proper conversation around our campaign and the role of money. See, my brother, if you follow this election, particularly this off-cycle election, and this is one of the reasons why you have heavy militarized election, because of the heated polity, incitement of violence. The polity was really heated, and I think this has to do with our value system. It's really sad and unfortunate, and I hope we'll get to a point where we don't even need any form of military protection or security protection. Election should just be a thing of where people come out, exercise their rights, and go about their businesses. So for me, another also is we need to harmonize the use of technology and clearly state the role of technology in terms of also correlation of results and also announcing the final result. But most importantly, also as we go into 2027, we need to approach the National Assembly, that's the 10th Assembly, to review the 2022 Electoral Act and also expand different roles of different stakeholders. Because for us, we look at the process, because if the process is flawless, it's transparent, and it's credible, then nobody will question the result and having the judiciary decide who becomes the winner, and also taking away trust from society. So what I think most importantly is our value and the role of politicians, because see, every other person was ready for this election except the politicians, which is really sad, because if they were ready, they would not be inciting, and creating a tensive atmosphere.
Okay, okay. Let me also get this. In your midday report, it was stated that in Ajaokuta LGA of Kogi State, observers were impeded from taking pictures by security personnel, infringing upon the observers' freedom during the process. Could you expatiate further on this, please? And was it resolved?
So this is User-B observers in Ajaokuta. They refuse us to take pictures and videos, and this also tells you the level of preparedness and education of security personnel. We don't interfere in their roles and duty, and they're not meant to interfere with us. We go to these polling units, we only register our presence through the presiding officer. We fill the form and also observe. We're not monitors, we're observers. And we're allowed to take pictures and videos. And we're not taking videos and pictures around the voting area. But we're documenting in real time what's happening. And in the world that we live in, because of fake news, misinformation, and disinformation, you must always put evidence to your reportage. And this is something we've even getting clearance from the INEC chairman. As observers, we're allowed to take pictures and videos. And then when we provide this evidence, that's the incident where we provided, or you have evidence, that's why INEC would respond and escalate. So it was really sad and unfortunate. And this also tells us when we have a joint roundtable between INEC and security agencies, we'll bring this up so that as we go into 2027, nobody will impede or us from exercising our rights as independent electoral observers.
Let me also get seek clarification on the issue of Beavers malfunctioning. What's your observation in this regard, and as well as
So yes, so what happened at that polling unit, and this was reported by our observer, is that the ad hoc staff didn't. Also, yes, the Beavers was reading in it was reading Chinese language. So when we escalated, they sent one of their rack technicians to the Beavers technician, who now are reconfigured. So what this also tell you is, as much as INEC had enough time, they did not check and recheck to be sure that all the Beavers have been reconfigured to fit, purpose for this election. So just one incident where the Beavers was, communicating in Chinese.
All right. Let me also get your view on this also, which is quite paramount. There were reports of pre-filled result shields discovered in some polling units. Any word of Ogori Mangogo in Kogi State was mentioned. Could you please give us your perspective on this, please?
Yes, so we got that report. Sadly, I had left that vicinity before the report came in, but we've escalated it to INEC. But I think also this is important. I observed that the Resident Electoral Commission assigned the result sheet for various local government coalition centers, not the result sheet for polling centers. I can understand that it will not be easy to sign over 3,000 result sheet for various polling units, but I think that there should be a way to verify. And I think this is where technology, which is Beavers, come into play. Verify the numbers of votes as tallied by the numbers of people that are accredited. I also think that, yes, and it's in the guideline. When you come to the voting area, first, the Beavers will be shown reading 000. The result sheet will be shown not filled. So I think that this is something INEC needs to timely investigate and tell the Nigerian people publicly what their findings are and how they hope to curtail it. I also think that this is an opportunity to ensure that political parties and actors will not interfere in the electoral process. If they've done their homework and they're confident of victory, why would they now interfere with the process that brings about the leadership of any state?
So finally, Hamza, how did the involvement of various stakeholders, such as the political parties, civil society organizations, and the media influence the electoral landscape during this off-cycle election?
I must commend the media and civil society. It seemed like we're the ones who are more ready and prepared.